Have you ever really looked at a drop of water? I mean, it seems like, well, nothing, doesn't it? A tiny, clear, quiet little sphere. But what if I told you that inside that seemingly empty space is one of the most crowded, bustling landscapes on the entire planet? Yeah, let's take a closer look.
So this is the big question for today. And trust me, it's so much more than just a number. It's an invitation to a world that is all around us, but completely invisible. And the answer? Well, it's going to fundamentally change how you see a simple pond forever.
And this really shows you the two realities we're dealing with. On one side, you've got what we see every day, stillness. But on the other, you've got the microscopic truth, a chaotic, beautiful, and absolutely teeming universe of life, all going about its business. All right, let's dive into this invisible world. And we're not talking about a few lonely swimmers here and there. We're talking about a complete, complex ecosystem operating on a scale that is almost impossible for our minds to really wrap around. You know, the population in this little drop is anything but fixed. It's a dynamic, always shifting environment. The warmth of summer, nutrients from some decaying leaves, the plants nearby, every single one of these factors decides, in real time, who lives, who thrives, and who becomes lunch. So we know it's crowded, but just how crowded are we talking about? This is where the numbers get truly mind-boggling, so get ready for this. That's right. By a conservative estimate, a single drop of pond water is home to over 1 million living organisms. And in a really nutrient-rich pond on a warm day, that number can skyrocket into the tens of millions. All of that inside one single drop. A million is hard enough to picture, but this quote really puts it into a stunning perspective. I mean, think of the busiest city you can imagine, Tokyo, New York. That single drop of water makes it look like an empty wasteland. This isn't just an ecosystem, it's a hyperdense metropolis. So how is this incredible density even possible? We're just talking about life on a completely different scale. Many of these bacteria are just a micrometer long. That's 1/1,000,000th of a meter. That's the secret. It's the reason so much life can exist in such a tiny, tiny space. So who are these millions of residents anyway? Let's meet some of the key players in this microscopic drama. Each one has a very specific role to play in this little world. First up, we've got the artists and the engineers of the drop, diatoms. These are not just simple algae. They're these magnificent organisms that build intricate, ornate shells for themselves out of silica, which is basically glass. They're the foundation, the plants of this tiny world, turning sunlight into energy for everybody else. Then you have the hunters, like the amoeba. This thing is a shapeshifter. It doesn't have a mouth, so it extends parts of its own body, these things called false feet, to just slowly surround and engulf its food. It's like a slow-motion predator in a high-speed world. And things get even more complex with the rotifer. This is a tiny animal, not just a single cell. It has this crown of tiny, beating hairs that spin together like a wheel. And this motion creates a powerful little whirlpool that sucks bacteria and algae right in for it to eat. It's just incredible biological machinery on a microscopic scale. Now, these characters don't just exist side by side. They are all woven together in an intricate and brutally efficient web of life, where every single action immediately impacts everything else. This nutrient cycle is really the engine of the entire system. You've got bacteria, the master recyclers, breaking down all the waste. Then the algae, like the diatoms, use those nutrients and sunlight to grow. Then amoebas hunt the bacteria and algae. And finally, the bigger rotifers hunt them. And because they're all packed in so tightly, nothing is ever wasted. It's a perfect, self-sustaining loop of life. But there's another player here whose numbers just dwarf everything else: viruses. In that same drop with 1 million organisms, there can be tens of millions of viral particles. They are the great regulators here. By constantly infecting bacteria and algae, they cause populations to crash, which stops any one species from just taking over. And when they burst their host cells, they release a flood of nutrients back into the water. So they're not just predators, they're a critical part of the nutrient cycle itself. So when you put all of this together, the immense scale, the diverse characters, the complex interactions, you start to realize you're not just looking at dirty water. You are looking at a complete and vibrant universe. This quote really just captures the idea perfectly. That tiny, glistening sphere of water is a self-contained world,
A planet all its own, following all the same rules of life as our world.
And inside that world, you find every theme we see on our own. There's brutal predation, right? There's breathtaking beauty in the glass shells of the diatoms. And there's that endless, perfect cycle of death, feeding new life. It's all right there.
So I'll leave you with this question. The next time you see a drop of rain on a leaf, what are you going to see? An empty, silent thing? Or a teeming, beautiful, and invisible universe hiding just beneath the surface?